All right, everybody, I am really excited about this spider. As you can tell, I can't even get it out of my mouth. It is the Lowe's 3.5-foot lighted spider. I am excited because I've got two of the HD spiders, and knock on wood, I've been lucky. My joints, I put mine together, and I leave the legs put together and hang them and everything, so maybe that's why, but I've been very lucky in the fact that my joints, like a lot of people complain about their HD spiders' legs joints breaking and whatnot, I've been lucky. So I'm not getting this to replace either one of them because I love them, but I wanted something a little bit smaller and hopefully a lot lighter, because I'd like to do something upside down or hanging from a tree, and I've seen people do that with HD spiders, but that's a lot to support. So anyway, I thought this was super cool. I know Halloween Express has a new one out, but it's got those janky looking legs with it's just metal with some plastic you pull over the top. It's not gonna last, and what my cup of tea. If it's yours, more power to you. But this one, I like the purple. I like the look of it. Same price. So here we go. So this is the one I bought, and this is the box. As you can see, not too big of a box and not heavy at all. And you open it up, and this is what we got inside here. Let's see here. We've got probably the bottom part of and this one's all plastic and I have the worst time with that. Blow moldy. Here's your stake downs, instructions, power cord. These are going to be for the ground. I was going to say these are much heavier than these that I just pulled out. But these are your, as you can see right there, to put your stakes through. I don't think this thing's going to be too awful heavy at all. Hopefully it won't be too awful of a build, but after her, I'm good. She broke me in great for this new season. All right, guys, I'm not going to sit here and have you watch me and do all 8 legs. I was just trying to show you what looks like all the way around is the legs, and the headpiece looks like is in the middle here. So let me get it all unboxed and we'll start putting her together. All right, guys, I was about to lose my mind here for a minute, but I'll tell you why. Here's all the legs we already discussed. Here's, looks like lower portion of the legs. 4 of them have points to secure and 4 don't. But I got everything out, which, by the way, this is everything. Instructions, adapter, hex bolts, Allen wrench, and this, the abdomen. And I was like, where is my other pieces here? I think there's another piece with the head, and the head hangs onto it. I was like, oh my God, they didn't ship it off. Nope. I quickly read, hoping that this was right, and it is. It's inside this. You see it's hinged. You take this and you undo these 3 screws right here. Well, actually, it looks like 4, but anyway, the directions said 3. And the other pieces are supposedly inside, so heart attack avoided. All right, let's get started building. All right, guys, the first part of this build is putting part A legs, which is this part, and adding part B in here. The reason I'm stopping this is to show you something real quick that I don't like. But, you know, this is not a $300-400 spider from HD. Quite honestly, I don't remember what I paid for it. 2, maybe? At any rate, not a $300 for it. However, the little connection here is just, as you can see, they just kind of snap in here and fit into that. I would have much rather had some snaps, the push button, but there's no metal in here in this particular part of the build. I think there is, yes, this part has metal in it. But these upper legs do not. I'm assuming maybe that's why they don't have the snap-in pins. I don't like this little cheesy plastic thing right here. And I worry about it coming in and out, damaging or pulling these seams apart. So I'll be doing with this exactly, which they're much smaller things. Look at this. This is exactly what I wanted, but just so if any of y'all are wondering, this is much smaller than the HD legs, which is what I wanted, a smaller spider. So I will be doing what I do with them, storing these legs intact, so I don't have to worry about breaking these little tabs or busted open these seams. But I just wanted to show you that, and I don't like that. But I get it. They're cutting back on the price, so cutting back on the build. But, all right, let me put this last one in and move on to the next step. All right, guys, real quick. Throughout this build, throughout, I've done 2 steps. But anyway, so far, they've referred to 2 different types of spider legs. Spider leg type 1, which is what I put together first. Spider leg type 2. The only difference is the type 2 leg and bottom portion have the metal inserts and have the metal, of course, that's why they have the metal inserts, so you can spike them down. These pieces, I complained about the push pin part on type 1, but even with the push pin still with the metal pieces, these are quite hefty and feel very solidly put together. So I'm feeling much better about that now. All right. So I just wanted to point that out before I put the last 2 together. That's the difference when you're reading between type 1 and type 2. All right, guys, a quick look at the head, and I guess you'd say middle piece. I know I saw one comment say that this isn't a spider. It's got 3 pieces. That's like an ant hybrid, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, whatever. It's a cool spider. I'm not an entomologist. I don't care how many sections it has. It's a cool spider. Anyway, you undid a few screws here. This opened up, and as I said, it was inside. I'm in the process. There's 10 screws that goes around it. I'm in the process of putting them in now. Because it's blow moldy and plasticky on the inside, it's not hard. But like I got to this one right here, and it's hard to see to fit it in. It's not wanting to catch. So, you know. But so far, not bad at all. Anyway, just wanted to show you the head part. All right, guys, I got all the screws in. All you got to do is just make sure you count. I think there's 6 because you count the tail, I guess, on one side and 5 on the other side. And just a tip. Make sure this plastic is aligned very well before you start screwing these in, so the screws will align with the parts on the inside. But all in all, not bad at all. The little hex screw they gave you, screwdriver, actually has a magnetic end, so it holds them, so that's nice. So anyway, got that done. Next step is just taking the 2 parts from the head area to the butt area, and yes, they use cephalopod and cephalothorax and abdomen. Okay, I can use abdomen instead of butt, but I'm going to use head and abdomen. Anyway, that was our next step, and I'm going to assume the next is going to come in putting this in here, but we shall see. All right, guys, just as I predicted, the metal head slid into that metal butt, or the metal pole in the butt, and then you flip it over. Oh, and by the way, it's dumbass proof. And sorry, I usually don't cuss, but this was really stupid of me. Couldn't figure out when I started to slide them together. They weren't going in very well. It's like, what is wrong? I had this piece upside down. The big pretty piece is the top, obviously. So it's dumbass proof. It won't let you mess that up. So when I spun it over and slid it in, great. You know, you've got a gap here. Don't worry. The reason you're turning it over is you're inserting a screw right down into there. I was scared it wouldn't fit right because of this gap, but I think they've considered this gap. I think that's because the weight of the head is probably going to pull down when it's sitting the correct way. But anyway, that's the next step. Slide in the head and make sure you don't pinch the wires. They feed back into either end, whichever end you want to feed them to, and put your bolt in there. All right, guys, you take the type 1 legs, which are the legs without the thing to staple them into the ground, stake them into the ground. You put them on these 4 outer. You have, every one of them has this. So you connect this, push it back in, and then put the legs in. All of this is outdoor rated, so that's nice that he can go outside. Anyway, the outer 4 plugs, you slide them in and you screw them down. And then the next step is to take the type 2 legs, which did have the inner metal poles and did have the ends that you can stake down. They're going to go here, 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 and here. And obviously that's going to be holding most of your weight. I am missing a screw. I only have 3 screws yet left, so I don't know if I've dropped one or if they just didn't send it, but I'm missing a screw, so we'll see how this works out. But I'm gonna go ahead and put those other legs on. Well, here you go. Here's the finished product. I had to lift him up off of my table, stand him up. I love that he stands on his own legs. He doesn't have eyesore coming down to hold him up. He is, as you can see, very stable. My guesstimation, after lifting him up off the table, probably around 25 pounds. Don't think it would go as much as 30, but it may. Somewhere in between there. So not incredibly heavy at all, but not flimsy enough that it's just going to blow right over. And of course, you're going to have to stake down, I guess. All right, so he has a timer, 6 hours on, 6 hours on, 18 hours off. He also has a constant on. When I first started looking at him, I just loved his coloring and everything. I had no idea he even lit up. So that was a nice bonus for me. So, all right, let me get him plugged in and turned on and we can see what he looks like. All right, guys, this is him lit up. Oh man, I'm in love. Okay, I am looking through the screen. It makes this look purple. And I'm a huge Prince fan and love purple, but in reality, this is not purple. All of this is the neon, actually what it really looks like in real life, looks like black light. It looks like all of this is black light without a black light on it. So really cool blue color. So, guys, this is a win right here. Comes up to my upper thigh, and then the back end's a little taller, so waist high. So not huge, but not small. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there you go. It's a perfect size. My HD spiders are too big for inside and certain places. This is exactly what I wanted, a good size, but not huge spider. The lighting is phenomenal. Easy peasy build. The only negative I can tell you about the build is it's a lot of screws to hand tighten, but I guess, you know, you could run and get a screwdriver or something. I just used their little hex tool. That is the only negative. Just, you know, maybe 15, 20 screws, and that's it. So, it's not animated. I actually thought it made sounds, and I'm really glad it doesn't. I never put batteries in my HD because I don't want to hear that hissing that they think spiders make or whatever. So I'm glad this one doesn't have a sound. But since it's not animated, I'm not going to give it a 10 out of 10 cauldrons. But I think I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 cauldrons. And the only reason it's not getting a 10 out of 10 is, it's static. It doesn't do anything but light up. But it is a phenomenal present. So if you need a spider that's a really good size, but not huge like the HD, reasonably priced, this Lowe's spider is for you. All right? Easy peasy build. I think I will keep it together because I'm not a fan of unscrewing all that and screwing it back in. But if you don't, easy peasy storage. So that's great, because Lord knows storage is always a problem. So that's a great plus too. So all right, hope you enjoyed the video, and until next time, stay bubbly.